everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am in Texas. That's right, I know I probably look like a zombie. That's because I drove all night to get here. There's a long story that goes with this that I could share, having to do with a storage unit and a thief. And yeah, I guess the moral of the story is don't trust these storage unit places. They'll rip you off in the end. Anyway, stick around. So much to talk about. Yes, quite a story. So while I was still living in China, this would have been probably about a year ago, I got this email in the middle of the night from the storage unit here in Texas, informing me that about a month or so before having sent the email, my storage unit had been broken into by some kind of a thief, and basically telling me I needed to put a lock on the unit. What? You know, my unit has been basically open to anybody for a whole month. It's been broken into by somebody, and who knows what they've done. And you wait a whole month to tell me. I called them, and I was quite upset, of course. And the guy's just like, well, I don't know. You know, the guy was a total idiot. I shouldn't say he's a total idiot. He just didn't care, you know. He's just the worker at the storage unit. Anyway, I spent a whole lot of time trying to work it out with them so that they would be willing to put a lock on the unit that I paid for. Because, you know, I was in China and I had no way of coming back, you know, especially once COVID hit. It was just not possible to come back. As you know, we went through a lot of struggle trying to come back to the United States. Anyway, we finally got it worked out with them, and then lo and behold, about a month later, I get another email from these people saying, hey, when are you going to come back to put the lock on your unit? And I'm like, what? You know, I thought we worked this out. It's still unlocked? Anyway, I had to work it out with them. They were quite irritated for whatever reason. I don't know why it's so difficult to just put a lock on a unit. They finally did agree to put the lock on the unit for me. And to make a long story short, obviously we've come back to the United States, and one of the places we stopped along the way to the East Coast was at our storage unit there here in Texas, I should say. And well, whoever went in there, we've been told by the storage unit people that, oh, it was just a smash and grab thing, you know, they just went in there and really quickly rummaged through things and then took off. And I discovered that that was entirely false. Whoever had broken into the unit had spent enormous amounts of time in there to go through every little thing to find whatever they could of value, or what they perceived of as valuable. And they did. They took anything that actually had monetary value as far as they could tell. Everything was thrown around. They literally just dumped everything out. It was a terrible mess. And I remember when I made the agreement with them, it came with this insurance that increased the price of the unit that I was paying for every single month for all this time that I've been in China. And so anyway, I'm thinking, you know, okay, this will be covered. And then they tell me, no, I never had insurance to begin with. And so nothing is covered. And I tried to argue with them, and no, they just say it's not their fault and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, whatever was stolen, I guess it's just gone. But we dug through everything. I came out here, I guess about a month ago, and I got a bunch of stuff out of the storage. And I was very glad to see that what the thief did not consider to be valuable actually had a lot of personal value to us. Some things like a tapestry that we got in Ecuador from a trip down there. We had some Russian nesting dolls that we picked up, and my wife had gotten in Russia. We had some things from Ukraine, from various trips to Japan, Korea, and little things from Europe that we picked up, you know. We always had it in mind that here in the United States, eventually, once we, you know, really settled down somewhere, or wherever we finally decided to settle, we would have all these little things we could decorate our house with that we picked up everywhere. Now, I guess the thief didn't take much value out of those things. Even though he stepped on everything and messed it all up, most of it was there, so I was happy for that. Unfortunately, the expensive telescope and other things, they were all gone. He left my Blu-ray player, though. But it didn't matter because I lost the remote to that Blu-ray player so long ago, it has no use whatsoever. But anyway, I am on my way to get what is left in the storage unit so that we can be done with these people and stop paying them money for nothing. Because obviously having the stuff, I might as well just have left it outside the way they treated it, you know. It's inside a building. Yeah, the whole thing is so frustrating. But after today, I will be done with them. And for the time being, done with Texas, I guess. Then it'll be back home to the mountains and the woods in peace and quiet. Now, I did want to point out something. I am planning on putting together another channel, assuming that's allowed. Of course, it's got to be allowed. I'm going to put together another channel that focuses more on China specifically, and I'll continue to put videos up on this channel. More of a, sort of like what I've been doing, just a regular sort of vlog thing to keep you guys up to date with what I'm doing and where I'm going if you care to hear about it. It's really therapeutic for me. I get to talk about things, what I think, what I really think, and then I get to hear what other people think when they comment. Lately there haven't been very many comments, which has been disappointing to me. I always look forward to those comments. It gives me something to read, hear what other people have to say. If you're ever watching this and hearing my opinions, don't ever get too carried away with it. You know, I'm a really laid-back sort of person. I don't really care too much one way or the other, but I do care, you know, to hear what other people think. Just because I think it's important to know what other people think and to hear what they have to say. And I don't really have much of another way to... I can't have too much of a direct conversation with people except through the comments, so keep the comments coming. I really look forward to those. I look forward to those more than I do the number of views or the likes on the channel. Those don't really matter so much to me. I do like hearing from people though, so like I said, keep those comments coming. You know, I'd be really curious to hear what you have to say about Texas. It's my understanding, everything I hear about Texas is that Texas is a state that's all open, you know, and they're not doing all these COVID lockdowns like everywhere else. Like where I'm living at right now, they have started to get harsher and harsher. It seems like every day there's a new sign up somewhere that says by order of the governor this or that. I wish that by order of the governor they had said, you know, you can't buy all the toilet paper. Luckily we had enough already to begin with to get through the shortage, the toilet paper famine, I guess you could call it. But yeah, he's got these things coming up all over the place, you know. You go to Sam's Club and you got to wait out in the rain because they can only have so many people in the store. Or I want to go make a return at Bath & Body Works because my wife got the wrong stuff or she decided she didn't like it. And then I have to wait in this ridiculous giant line until all the people shopping for stuff finally come out, you know. I don't like lines to begin with. And then when I'm sitting there waiting and I see people are just wandering around the store, not really doing anything, just aimlessly in there, you know, smelling all the candles or whatever. And I'm thinking, oh, come on, I just want to return this stupid salt scrub thing or sugar scrub or whatever it is that my wife picked up. Oh, and the best part was when I finally went in, they're like, oh, this isn't on the receipt, so we can't, you know, you can't return it. It's like, what? I just spent all this time and now I can't return it. And then after I got out, I finally realized what had happened. The cashier had scanned one of the other things twice instead of scanning that one, which was slightly different. I guess it's a different color label or something, just slightly different, but looks exactly the same. So yeah, I have to try and figure out how I'm going to tell them, hey, look, you know, you scanned this twice instead of scanning this other one, and I do need to return it so that my wife will not, you know, kill me I come back and still have the stupid sugar scrub stuff again in the bag. But maybe they'll give me a gift card for it or something. Who knows? Oh, and how about that election? Not to get too political, I'm not arguing one way or the other, but my goodness, it's still going on. I know Joe Biden is the projected winner and all of that, but I'm still hearing about these lawsuits from Trump, and other people are going to say, well, he's losing all the lawsuits, and I don't know what's going on anymore. It just, oh, I'm in the wrong lane. Look at that. That's what happens when you get distracted talking to people. Not that I mind. But yeah, this, ooh, there goes a bunch of cars suddenly out of nowhere. This election never seems to end. I begin to have my doubts, like maybe what'll happen, maybe we'll end up with 2 presidents, and there'll be a group of people saying, no, Donald Trump is the legitimate president. You'll have another group of people saying, no, it's Joe Biden, he's the legitimate president. And then you'll have the military trying to decide, okay, so which one do we listen to? I don't know. I don't think that'll happen. Of course, there's things built into the law and the Constitution to deal with this sort of thing. So I'm assuming that they'll get it all worked out and the country isn't just going to fall apart. But it is interesting to see how things are progressing here. Just craziness. Oh, and somebody had asked, I guess, how my son is adjusting to preschool. We did get him enrolled in a preschool, and we did pay a handsome amount of money for tuition at a private school, but now it is questionable whether or not they're actually going to be having that school. He's been going to a daycare some of the time. I really don't like sending him off. I miss him when he's gone. I miss him right now, in fact, because he's not here with me, but I couldn't take him on this long of a ride. He doesn't sit well for long rides in the car anymore. He starts trying to get out of his seat and climb around, and he doesn't like to listen to me when I tell him he can't get out of his seat. And he thinks that if he acts really nice or he comes up and acts cute, then it's okay. He can still do what he wants, and that just doesn't work. But yeah, I don't know. It's questionable at this point whether or not the preschool thing is actually going to work out, if they're actually going to be able to have preschool.
Continue driving straight.
Just another one of these COVID casualties, I'm afraid. If private schools or schools in general are going to be operating next year. Some other people had mentioned my sources of news and how bad they must be. I've actually stopped watching the news. I feel like I'm in a much better mood when I just don't watch the news. No more people pulling you this way or that. I've also abandoned Twitter. I mean, I still have, if you follow me on Twitter, you're going to probably notice that I am not saying anything anymore, which is a good thing. I should not be saying anything on Twitter, and I shouldn't be reading what other people say on Twitter because, well, it always leads to trouble. Those algorithms, they'll really get you into trouble. Best just to leave it alone. And that's what I finally decided. It's best that I just leave it alone. So, I'm no longer there. I've abandoned Twitter. I really have pretty much abandoned all of the social media things. I never really was big on Facebook to begin with. I have a Facebook account, but it's private. There's a page for my videos, but hardly anybody goes there, and I really don't do anything with Facebook. I get on Reddit. I think there's also a subreddit for the videos, but of course nobody's on that, probably because nobody knows about it. Yeah, there is a subreddit for the channel, but pretty quiet. I post the videos on there. That's about all that I do on Reddit. I do like to read some things. I find Reddit to be entertaining because I can just read stuff and I don't really have to be too active. I don't feel obligated to say anything, or I don't get angry enough to say anything because I'm just looking at things about technology or things about China, keep up with those kinds of things. Twitter, though, that's a nightmare. Twitter is best to just be left alone. And I know there's Parler out there, and I did make a Parler account, but it just seemed too much the same like Twitter. Everybody's getting likes and shares and all this stuff, and I don't know what they call it if it's not a retweet, but yeah, it's just more of the same, and I don't think that's a good thing. It's unhealthy. It's not natural. It's not normal. So I have kind of stopped doing anything on there as well. And that just leaves YouTube. And YouTube is therapy. I can just talk and talk about whatever on YouTube. And it doesn't matter. But like I said, I do like to hear what you have to say. So anything that I'm talking about, anything that you want to talk about, it doesn't have to even be what I'm talking about. Maybe you want to hear something that you would like to talk about. Let me know. I'd love to hear it. Make this a two-way conversation. So now, as I mentioned, I am planning on putting together another channel with videos specifically about China. I'm thinking the first video that I want to make, while I was in China, every time somebody new would come out there, it seemed like they'd start asking, of course they want to get a Chinese girlfriend. And I know there's going to be a lot of people maybe thinking negative about that, but let's face it, if you're living in a place and 99% of the people that you encounter are all Chinese, of course, that kind of means the dating pool is going to be mostly Chinese people, whether it be a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is. But, they don't inevitably ask, how do you meet Chinese girls? It seems almost impossible. And I'd say, how is it impossible? Everyone you work with is Chinese, and, everybody you encounter is Chinese. Well, it's just difficult to get started. So I'm thinking about making a video explaining, or maybe just giving some of the tools necessary in order to meet a Chinese girlfriend or boyfriend. I'd be curious what all of you have to say about that, if it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea just to start. The other channel, I'm going to try and put more effort into the videos instead of just being randomly mumbling about whatever. Maybe they'll be a little bit more crafted. They'll probably still end up being, really amateurish and all of that, but maybe it'll be a higher quality nature of amateurish video for people to enjoy. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll have to let you guys know once I have it up so you can check it out. Again, I'd be open to any sort of comments or criticisms of what you think about the videos. Maybe what you would like to hear. I spent a lot of time in China, and I still have a lot of connections to China, so I can probably answer a lot of questions or make videos about different topics. We'll see. We'll have to see how it goes. Well, here I am at the storage unit. Coming in for the last time, hopefully. Get this place cleared out. Certainly don't want to deal with these people anymore. Well, here we are at the unit. You can see my original lock from years and years ago is still there. Somebody I guess they broke this. I don't know what they did. They just broke it open, I guess. Here's my new lock, which is very soon to be useless as well. But yeah, I'll show you what I mean about this whole thing being just totally a mess. This thing. Yeah. I don't think the light even works in here. I'm gonna have to use the phone's light to give you a view of what these people did. There we go. This is what's left of my storage. They literally just threw everything everywhere. Made a terrible mess. Anyway, I'm going to get to work moving all this, what's left of it, out of here. And I guess like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.